So in today's video, we're going to talk about Pennywise in Dead by Daylight and open up an investigation in regards to legitimate theories and connections between the It franchise and Dead by Daylight. There's a lot of rumors going around and I wanted to sort the facts from the fiction all in one place. We'll also touch on new licensing news in regards to the Pennywise IP in general. Hey everyone, it's Schmuckles. Today we're going to talk about the mystery surrounding Pennywise in DBD. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this. I'm also live on Twitch right now streaming Dead by Daylight, link for that in the description below. 10 months ago, this YouTuber named DBD said something interesting about Pennywise in DBD. They posted a video called The Ultimate DBD Iceberg Explained on February 10th, 2023. It's accumulated about 900,000 views, and at about 27 minutes in the video, Luisis said this.
Lost licenses. Nothing about this is confirmed, but it's been speculated that Behavior has had new license deals in the past that just fell through for one reason or another. We can only go off of leaks and speculation for this, but an example of this I've actually heard before is that Behavior lost the Pennywise and It chapter license because of a falling out with Warner Brothers, who are notorious for keeping their IPs on a short leash.
I've been following all DBD licensing news for a couple of years now, and that's a pretty shocking thing to hear. I was like, what exactly did they mean when they said that? Could this somehow be connected to the lost license that Matthew Cote mentioned to King and Polly in early October? And remember, I asked DBD Twitter which license they thought it was, and I listed 4 pretty plausible options. Matthew Cote responded and said none of these. Now, if Cote is being honest in his response here is another conversation in and of itself, but this is what Cote said. That all happened in early October 2023, many months after this YouTube video. I find that timing kind of interesting. Like, this YouTuber claimed this before we knew Behavior actually did lose a license. So could that license actually be Pennywise? What is even the basis for that YouTuber saying that about Pennywise? Apparently on Game FAQs 11 months ago, someone said this. Stranger Things map got cancelled. Pennywise has a model in DBD. Pennywise has a stage in DBD. So where is Pennywise and what are they waiting on? I know they started something a year ahead of time, and if that's the case, he should be coming sometime 2023. Oh, and this was all information coming from the Discord owner of DBD Leaks for those wondering. Someone responded and said what kind of model his clown form. So he's asking what model of Pennywise was found in the DBD game files. And this person responded his clown form, the most well-known form. Somebody else responded to this and said this in regards to Pennywise in DBD. People are just making this shit up. If Pennywise was ever coming, he should have been out in 2019. It's actually really not important what this person said. What's more important is the response that they got from the original user who claimed that Pennywise was in the DBD game files. They responded, Pennywise and his map is 100% in DBD's data. The owner of the DBD leaks said so himself months ago. Jason has 5 kits put aside just for him whenever they get him. Cote also said they work on chapters a year in advance. What probably happened is someone got excited and jumped the gun with the NDA. The Pennywise related claims are news to me. I know that in September of 2019, Matthew Cote confirmed that Behavior attempted to get the Pennywise license but failed.
Now we got Stephen King's It for the clown. I wish. Seriously, I have no problem saying that this is one we tried to get. It's not one that they're willing to discuss right now because obviously they're working on big things and they're not ready to talk about this license at this time.
But the claims made by the YouTuber as well as the game FAQs are news to me. I've actually never heard rumors that Behavior actually got the Pennywise license, because those are 2 completely different things, right? Behavior attempting to get the Pennywise license versus Behavior getting the license, then losing it and having Pennywise related things in the DBD game files. I asked Gorgira, DBD Leaks moderator, if the Discord owner of DBD Leaks, Masuster, ever said any of these claims. Gorgira said, as moderator of DBD Leaks, I haven't heard those whatsoever. I'll double check though. I'm 99% sure that's just made up crap. Yeah, Masuster hasn't said a single thing about Pennywise in DBD. So I wanted to find out, like, what is the basis for these claims? Pennywise has a stage in DBD. I assume this person must be referring to that sewer map that was found in the DBD game files. There was a sewer map that was data mined out of the DBD game files back in November 2019. It had a section of the map that was a large sewer. People thought that this might be Pennywise related at the time, but now it's widely accepted amongst the leaking community that that sewer map is an unused or scrapped backwater swamp variation. It's possible that we do see some version of this variant in the future because Backwater Swamp is going to be the next reworked map. Like I say, it's possible that we see this sewer in the Backwater Swamp update, but nobody knows for sure. And as for the Pennywise has a model in DBD claim, in December of 2022, Masuster was explaining how Behavior doesn't need to have a contract with Netflix to start working on Stranger Things related content. He said in Discord they don't need any contract to start working on a Stranger Things map. Look, for example, last year devs made Pennywise model just because they wanted to, but they can't release it though. At the time, I posted a video about this news and I had an incorrect take about what Masuster meant. They made a Pennywise model just because they wanted to, they can't release it though. And here Mass is talking about the fan-made concept for Pennywise that was released about a year ago. This wasn't through Behavior Interactive at all. Masuster was not talking about the DBD fan-made Pennywise. Masuster was talking about the devs from the game called last year. They tweeted and revealed that they made a Pennywise model for fun. One of the artists from the game last year got excited and made a Pennywise model for fun without the license from Stephen King or Warner Bros. So Masuster was using this as an example to relate it to the Stranger Things Rainbow Room leak. But Masuster's wording here can make it seem like the Behavior devs were the ones that made the Pennywise model. People thought he meant last year the devs made a Pennywise model because they wanted to, but they can't release it. But he literally meant the devs for a different game called last year. It was not DBD related. So this video serves to sort out the facts from the fiction in regards to Pennywise and DBD. There's never been anything Pennywise related in the DBD game files. Behavior tried to get the license in 2019 and failed. Still a possibility that Behavior privately lost the Pennywise license, but nobody knows for sure. Most recently in the licensing space, Stephen King had the rights to the It franchise reverted back to him. So we speculated that chapter 30 might be the last chapter that Behavior could license Pennywise through Warner Bros. If you want all the information on those dates and just the timing of the Pennywise licensing rights that we already covered in a previous video, you can click on the title above. I think this licensing information that we touched on before is the reason that people are saying in Discord, chapter 30 is the last chapter for Behavior to get the reboot Pennywise before the rights revert back to Stephen King. A DBD Leaks moderator then said Warner Bros doing nothing with DBD the past few years besides working with the Wes Craven estate to keep the Nightmare on Elm Street in the game has always been odd. Like they watch the game get huge and not once do they think to add Pennywise or Conjuring or Supernatural or anything really horror related that they own besides Freddy Krueger reboots. The main thing I want to know more about is if Warner Bros has a new contract with Stephen King to make more Pennywise related content. I checked the Copyright Office website from Warner Bros.'s end and there's no record of them other than reverting the rights of the It franchise back to Stephen King, and there's nothing new since then. This means that Warner Bros. Actually ordered the new It prequel series Welcome to Derry before that termination date, which allows them to execute the project. I'm no lawyer, and the way that the contracts are written are not public, but this makes me wonder how the contracts are actually written. Like, how many seasons can this show possibly go on for? Initially, the series was set to be released in 2024. On April 12, 2023, the Welcome to Derry release window is revealed for Max. The Dreadfully Scary franchise is about to expand into a new prequel series for Warner Bros.' rebranded Max streaming and will debut in 2024. The news came as a part of a larger Max rebranding announcement where Warner Bros. Laid out their new pricing model and future lineup for the streaming service. And as of right now, that date has actually been updated. As of December 7th, 2024, Welcome to Derry is now set for a 2025 release. On an interview released on March 28, 2023 by Jake Takes, the actor who played Pennywise in the reboots, Bill Skarsgård confirmed that he's not a part of the upcoming show.
I want to cut you loose on this, talking about things that we love. I'm curious as to how much you have heard about the new It prequel series that was greenlit over at Warner Brothers. I believe it's called Derry. Is there any way that they could ever get you to go back to that role? And if not, what advice would you have to the next guy to put that makeup on?
We'll see, you know, what they come up with and what they do with it. I'm, as of now, not currently involved in it. And if someone else gets to do it, my advice would just be do it your own, make it your own, have fun with it, you know what I mean?
And since then, Max actually released a new teaser for a bunch of shows that are upcoming for Max. This was a few days ago, and the teaser actually reveals some notable information about the Welcome to Derry show itself. Welcome to Derry show confirms huge Stephen King connection. The official teaser marketed the project as the title Welcome to Derry from the world of It. So this officially is connected to the Stephen King's book It. The writers of the Max horror television series pushed back its timeline to the 1960s to tell the origin story of Pennywise the Clown. And this is since some of the earliest events in Stephen King's book happened during that decade. The Welcome to Derry show takes place more than 20 years before the events of It, and 40 years before It Chapter 2. And this article is confirming here the last sentence there, viewers will get to see how Pennywise's story first started. So Billy Skarsgård isn't involved in the show, and there's likely going to be a new version of Pennywise in the show similar to that reboot version of Freddy Krueger. I'm no lawyer, so I could be wrong about this, but this might imply that Warner Bros. Owns their own version of Pennywise when this show comes out. If that Welcome to Derry story is a new story without using the storyline of Stephen King's original book, then Warner Bros. Might own the rights to that version of Pennywise. Similar to how Warner Bros.' subcompany New Line Cinema owned the reboot version of Freddy Krueger, not the original screenwriter Wes Craven and his estate. It really depends on how the contracts are written here, because Behavior was able to license the reboot version of Freddy Krueger through New Line Cinema without negotiating with Wes Craven's estate at all. So the same may be possible for Welcome to Derry's version of Pennywise. We'll have to wait and see how Warner Bros. Portrays Pennywise in this version. The rights to the first reboot version of Pennywise, which closely follows Stephen King's initial book, was definitely reverted back to Stephen King. So if Behavior wanted to license Billy Skarsgård in that version of Pennywise, they would certainly need permission from Stephen King and possibly Warner Bros. Too, depending on how the contract was written for that property. Welcome to Derry's version of Pennywise is more of a gray area. It may be possible that that version of Pennywise could solely be licensed through Warner Bros. Similar to how the reboot version of Freddy Krueger, not attached to the original A Nightmare on Elm Street story, was licensed through New Line Cinema and not the writer Wes Craven. And the later version of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, was licensed through Universal City and not the original writer Don Mancini. The exact rights and licensing arrangements for a character like Pennywise can be complex and depends on the specific terms outlined in the contracts between Stephen King, Warner Bros., and any other entities involved. The details of these contracts are typically not public, so we don't have precise information on how they're structured. It seems like Warner Bros. Is producing a prequel series, Welcome to Derry, that explores the origin story of Pennywise. The fact that Bill Skarsgård is not involved and the story takes place in a different timeline could suggest that this is indeed a distinct version of Pennywise. And whether or not Warner Bros. Owns the exclusive rights to this version depends on the specific terms negotiated in the contracts. In some cases, licensing agreements might be quite specific on which iterations or versions of the character are involved. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want news videos like this recommended to you by YouTube. And a reminder, I'm also live on Twitch streaming Dead by Daylight, link for that in the description below. That does it for this video. Goodbye.